Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Tiger. In this video, we're going to be talking about necrophilia. More specifically, who are the people behind these horrible and horrific acts? And what can we learn from them? What is the psychology? What are the risk factors? And what is the reasoning behind necrophilic acts? If you guys want to learn more about ways to improve your life through psychology, in a way that is research-based and not just fictional pseudoscience, I highly recommend that you hit that subscribe button and also hit the notifications button as well. But for now, let's just jump right into this video. By understanding what necrophilia is, we can learn a lot about human nature. And I just want to make this clear right off the bat, guys. I don't condone necrophilic acts. So the term necrophilia actually has ancient roots in Greek history. So what do we mean? What are the etymological roots of the word? So basically it comes from the Greek word necros, which means dead bodies, and the Greek word philia, or philia, I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, which means an attraction to, or a love for. So basically when you connect those two words together, you get a love or attraction to dead bodies. And one major confusion I think a lot of people have when they talk about necrophilia is that they kind of assume that whenever we're talking about necrophilia, we're actually talking about the activity of having intercourse with a dead body, which certainly qualifies under the idea of necrophilia, but that is really more of the extreme end. Most of the cases in necrophilia that are observed are actually what some people might call pseudo-necrophilia, which is basically actively fantasizing without actually committing the act. So for example, somebody might just fantasize about doing certain acts with dead bodies in their mind or in their fantasies, but they might not carry it out. That still qualifies as necrophilia. Again, necrophilia can be something as minimal as fantasizing about having intercourse with dead bodies. I say minimal, of course, but let's be honest, it's still a little messed up. Or something as extreme as going to a mortuary, finding a dead body, ripping it out of its tomb, and doing interesting things with it. So there's a lot of variety into the definition, and I believe there's actually a researcher who created a classification system of different kinds of necrophilic acts. Now I'm sure that one question that has probably floated through your mind over the course of this video is why? Why, man? Why would somebody go so far as committing a more extreme necrophilic act? What is the thought process? What is the psychology behind that? There is a dearth of research on necrophiliacs, but there is one very, very famous study that gathers a lot of information on a decently large sample of necrophiliacs, of around, I believe, 91 or so necrophiliacs. And it documents basically different things about them, such as their motivations, their IQ, their mental health condition overall, and many other different variables. Now, 91 participants in a sample is normally not going to be very much. But the thing is, when it comes to necrophiliacs, it's not like we can just be like, hey man, you a necrophiliac? Come on over, man, $5 for the study. We also got free pizza as well. Please join. It's kind of a taboo act. Now actually in a lot of states, it's not really illegal, which I'm going to get to in another video, but it still is a little bit taboo, and there are some ethical implications behind trying to say, well, yes, of course I identify as a necrophiliac. Every weekend I do it with a dead body. The researchers in this study were able to get information on the motivations behind 34 of the 91 necrophiliacs in the sample. And it actually tells us a lot, or is very helpful in informing us about why necrophiliacs do the things that they do. Now, I want you to pay very close attention because I'm about to say a statistic, and this statistic is going to be the most important fact that you can learn in this video. And that statistic is that 23 out of the 34 necrophiliacs that were asked about their motivations said something about the desire to possess an unresisting partner. An unresisting partner, one that is not going to be able to deny them. They're not going to have to face any sort of romantic rejection, because a dead body cannot communicate. It cannot say no. It is not an independent agency. It doesn't have thoughts and feelings, right? It's just a dead, cold body. So for a lot of these necrophiliacs who commit these more extreme acts, the whole point behind it, right, is this person is not going to reject me. It's impossible for them to do so. And a lot of these people have attachment issues or have experienced attachment issues throughout their life. Even in the case of the more minimal forms of necrophiliac acts, such as the fantasization of doing things with dead bodies. Well, even in those cases, one of the primary reasons that these individuals fantasize about it is because they cannot, they have a deep psychological problem that basically manifests as this fear to interact with women or to approach women, because they're going to get rejected, or rather, they're not necessarily that they're going to get rejected. They might not get rejected, but it's the fear. It's that surrounding fear of a possibility of denial. This all suggests to us that one of the contributing factors involved here is a buildup of romantic, social, and familial traumatic experiences that cause the individual to act on their fear of abandonment through fantasies and through lies. Another interesting fact is that 7 of the 34 necrophiliacs in the sample that were asked about their motivations essentially said that the key factor for them behaving the way that they did was to reunite with a romantic partner. So I guess in this case it would be assumed that the dead body that they were thinking about, or the dead body that they buried up, dug out and dug up and did things with, was actually a very important individual in their lives at some time. Probably, a wife, of course. I like to say husband because the vast majority of individuals in the sample were males. This denial of death, again, I think is also connected to this rejection, right? Because a lot of these individuals, these necrophiliacs, who had past relationships and subsequently saw their romantic other pass away, these people were in denial. They wanted to deny death. They wanted to defeat death. They could not possibly believe in a world in which the person that they loved the most was non-existent, was gone forever. And that now they themselves would have to find an alternative to that attachment. The authors also spoke about a possible stereotypical pathway to becoming a necrophiliac. Let's use a made-up character named Tom to kind of give a description of this pathological route towards necrophilia. Tom developed poor self-esteem and lack of confidence in himself, which was further worsened after getting rejected by his romantic partner of 4 years, Samantha. For as long as he could remember, his family was very emotionally avoidant, and his desire for acceptance and love in his family was often met with the violent fists of his father or the verbal abuse of his mother, who often told him she never loved him and hated that she ever gave birth to him. As time passed, he was also hurt by numerous friends, so he couldn't really trust many people. Tom had been on a few dates after his relationship with Samantha ended, but each one of them ended horribly. As his fear of rejection by women and people in general continued to heighten, he began to desire more and more a sexual object that could never reject him. At first, he resorted to his fantasies about women, but gradually he started to fantasize about having sex with a corpse. He had an increasing desire to act out these fantasies, and his job as a morgue attendant meant that he had occupational access to corpses. So, one day, he finally acted on these impulses. Okay, so you might be wondering now, how does this relate to me? I am a normal person in a normal society. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of similar themes that I personally see in the case of more extreme cases of these necrophiliacs, in a way that can be applied to modern society, to our modern way of life. And I know that seems a little bit far-fetched, but hear me out here. Many people have experienced extremely traumatic experiences, and it's now sort of become a norm. And it's something that we don't really talk about. The more and more traumatic experiences that you have in your development, the more likely you're going to be susceptible to many risk factors. These risk factors might include mortality, lower income, and other things. In one study that used a representative national sample of around 3,000 people, the DSM-5 criteria was used to see how much trauma the average person had experienced. And it was estimated that 90% of the participants had been exposed to traumas such as sexual assault, physical assault, warfare, or accidents. And what's interesting is that exposure to multiple traumas was the norm rather than the exception. And these findings aren't anything new. They've been replicated in study after study after study over and over again. And I think that there's a lot of men in our current generation with low self-esteem. These are people that have experienced rejection after rejection, whether that be in the social field or the familial field, the occupational field. I just think it's a very common thing nowadays for men to constantly face rejection. Just like in the case of Tom the necrophiliac, unresolved trauma can make you act in ways that you never thought possible. Now I just want to make it clear here. Most people are never going to become necrophiliacs, right? That is going to be a percentage within a percentage within a percentage, right? Less than 1% of all individuals are going to be necrophiliacs. And we don't really have a proper gauge to even really estimate that number right now. But all I'm trying to say is that although you might not reach the extreme traumatic consequences that maybe a necrophiliac might experience, you might have those same consequences, but to a far less significant degree. Still very significant, but far less significant. I just think that it's absolutely imperative that we as individuals understand our own trauma and the horrible things that we've experienced throughout our lives, and the dynamic, the overall dynamic, overarching dynamic of our relationships. We need to figure out how trauma affects who we are today, especially in negative ways. So what do you guys think about necrophilia? What are your thoughts about the interesting motivations of a lot of these necrophiliacs and how they became who they are? I want to hear your thoughts, and I'd be glad to start a conversation with you in the comments about this particular topic, or just anything in general. It doesn't have to be about this video. If you guys just want a normal conversation, just hit me up in the comments, because I'll gladly respond. Maybe not too long, because I know I've gotten some essays, and I've gotten like 100-page dissertations before in the comment sections, and I try to respond to all of them, but sometimes it's just so much. But no, yeah, I'm gonna try to comment, and I will comment if it's like not too long. Like even like a few paragraphs is totally fine. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe, because I'm actually gonna be posting even more content on necrophilia related to the topic of necrophilia. I really hope that you guys enjoy those future videos. Also hit the notifications, because that way you just get notified whenever I post a new video. And let me tell you that you guys are really going to enjoy some of the content that I have, especially ones that are going to be related to changing your own behavior, like different studies that have applied behavioral principles to change different behaviors. A good example is I'm going to be posting a video on this woman who hoarded towels. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good one. And of course, take care. Thanks.